First one in the list, the 1171, that price is better than the state price. You can see the other price is $400 more, the New York State contract. For the printer, the New York State, I think the state price was less.
I think we're going to try to finish that. That's what you think.
Well, if we can.
I don't know that the state is more expensive than the others.
Well, actually, what Jim explained is usually at the beginning of the year, at the very beginning of the year, the state prices are less. As the year goes on, frequently businesses will lower their prices and have sales, so they wind up being better than the state, the state listed price.
Why don't we do some more research and see if we can find something a little, it's almost compatible, but
Are you guys going to do research?
yeah, I'll do research.
Yeah, because I haven't had a chance to even look at
Well, it's
this.
been in your box, I'm sorry.
Well, it was in our box.
It's been in your
on
box
Friday.
for a while, it's not
It's been a
new.
long time.
Came with
Mark.
the agenda on Friday.
But we did discuss it last month.
Yeah, we discussed it. That's where the $1,000 came from.
And the materials were in your box a long time.
Are you going to cross-reference with Mr. Jeffries?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to cross-reference with...
What I'll do is, we have a tech guy at work. I can have him, I'll erase the prices and I'll have him give me exactly what's on here. And we'll see what he says, he can come up with.
So, you want to take no action on that, fine. The next thing on the agenda is setting a public hearing.
Could I just question?
Oh, yes,
and
sorry.
Am I correct in assuming that you guys will have it done by next month?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Virginia. I just
That's all
wanted
right, are we finished?
Time frame.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Proposed local law number 2, which you have all read. We do not really need to discuss it unless you have something that you would like to discuss since the town attorney is here. The local law is written. We need to set the public hearing for the people in the public who are here. This is during the winter. There was a house that was at the end of a rather long private road. There was a fire in the house. The fire department came and could not get up the road because it had not been plowed. Called the highway department, who came and did plow it. Fortunately, there was nobody hurt. But when we looked at our regulations, we thought that it would be better to have a clear statement in our zoning regulations that people had to, well, I'll read from the local law, require that all residences, dwellings, and places of business have suitable access to the property for emergency vehicles in the town of Stamford for the purpose of responding to emergency calls. And so this is an amendment to a portion of Chapter 96, Fire Prevention and Building Construction Administration of the Town of Stamford Code. So this is what we will be voting on, but we need to have a public hearing.
Yes, and we can refer it, even though it's not technically in the zoning code, we should probably refer it to Dutchess County Department of Planning because it does affect on that. We can do that.
But we can set the public meeting tonight.
Correct.
So we'll set the public hearing for the June town board meeting, which is the 10th. Is that correct? I believe it is.
I think it's the 8th.
No,
it's
the
the
10th.
10th.
You're right,
It's the
it's the 10th. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I already have a motion.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to make a motion to set the public hearing.
Yes.
Public hearing on
A public hearing on the local law.
Right.
So I make a motion that we set a public hearing for June the 10th at our town board meeting for proposed local law number 2.
Second.
Any discussion?
I think we're pretty well set.
All in favor? Okay. The next thing on the agenda is under new business, the AT&T Willowbrook cell tower application. At our last meeting, we closed the public hearing. However, new information and specifications came from AT&T about their proposed wanting to go onto the tower on Willowbrook Road. And so we reopened, the public hearing has been reopened. We cannot act on it. We have given the new specifications and all of the material to Richard Comey, a consultant, a cell tower consultant, who said he would be able to get back to us by next week concerning, his opinion of the application. So what we need to do is to do nothing.
Well-
Unless we want to discuss it at the special meeting.
That's correct. I think the issue is,
We
if
haven't
you
said
get we're waiting on a letter that the application is complete and any recommendation by the consultant, CMS. If that's received by the next meeting, the question is whether it would be put on the agenda for either the special meeting or for the June meeting. I spoke to Mr. Graham, the applicant's attorney, and I indicated that we would be considering, if there is a special meeting, that it would be put on there if we have the information in time.
So can we just say that if there is a special meeting in May, we will put it on the agenda?
If we've received the information.
If we've received all the information, and if we've not received it, it most likely will be on the agenda in June.
Right.
That doesn't need a vote.
No.
Okay. The next item is the Greenway. Actually, there are some books on the shelf in the back that are from the Greenway. If you're not familiar with it, if anybody in the public would like to take one and read about the Greenway, it's, in my opinion, a very productive and helpful resource for towns. And Bob, I don't know if the planning board has copies of it, but I will get them from the Dutchess County Planning if you want them for use on the planning board.
If you want us to review it, we will do so. Otherwise, I think a number of our board members have them.
Of course they do. I
Self-included.
think so too. On Monday at our town board workshop, the town board listened to a presentation by John Clark from Dutchess County Planning on what is called the Greenway Compact. Being a municipal member of the Greenway Compact would give Stanford some great advantages. Planning advice, guidance, and resources, and also being eligible for certain grants that you are not eligible for if you're not a member of the Greenway Compact. Stanford is the only town in Dutchess County that is not currently a member. All the other towns have signed up. The Greenway, for those of you who are not familiar with it, is a resource for advice and other kinds of resources for keeping our towns rural, preserving our open space, helping towns create public spaces, creating walkable, inviting communities, preserving our natural resources, which means our woods, our streams, our water supply, our wildlife, our agricultural soils, etc. In other words, it is a resource for all of the things that when people are asked, what do you want Stanford to be and how do you want it to be in the future, this is what they say they want it to be. And so having a resource that will help with information about that and guidance is a very wonderful thing, in my opinion. The town board has to vote on becoming a member of the compact, but in order to do that, there has to first be a public hearing. So I would ask the board to agree to schedule a public hearing at the June town board meeting.
Actually, Madam Supervisor, we have there's a procedure that needs to be followed, and we have a
Tell me what it is.
draft of a local